He says he doesn't know anything about things that he's actually supposedly signed.
4 years in this country by all of your colleagues.
Totally wrong.
That
is totally wrong.
What's your life that he said I don't know one time?
Biden did it. Biden did it.
Sure,
Biden
I
did
can.
it. But you
Of
cannot
course I
write
can.
that for 4 years.
I absolutely can.
We've got a CNN panel that we can hop into with Scott Jennings hopelessly trying to defend the incompetent and corrupt Trump administration after this Signalgate fiasco, as they're now calling it. So take a moment, hit the like button. It helps our channel out a lot, and let's get into the chaos.
Do you think it's like just a little odd that he says he doesn't know anything about things that he's actually supposedly signed? Maybe he signed it via AutoPen or something else. But he definitely has spoken. I mean, he has signed proclamations, and then he says I don't know anything about that. That is also a serious problem.
I'd rather have him act like he doesn't know about something, which I'm sure he probably does know about some of this stuff, than not talk to the press at all. I mean, he's the most accessible president that I've ever seen in modern history. I mean, your boss never talked to the media ever.
I love that the cope for MAGA now, at this point, they've lost so much ground that it's just, well, at least he's talking to the press, after complaining for years that, well, Biden doesn't know what's happening. Biden isn't running the country. They're now cool with Trump constantly saying that he doesn't know what's happening or hasn't been told, like with missing troops, like with the signal chats, like with deportation flights, like serious things. These aren't just menial little things like, oh, he didn't know that, because hey, he's probably lying and at least he's talking to the press. Like, cope. It's so hilarious that I can hardly take it serious, but it does speak to a much larger issue of a president literally being carried by his donors, it seems, and Elon Musk and Miriam Adelson, and by extension, his cabinet, where he doesn't even really know what's happening. He's just there to first absolve himself of his crimes that he was found guilty of and the others that he had looming over his head, and then rack in a little extra cash along the way.
And what's worse, a president not having all the information he needs to make a legitimate comment, so he holds back in the moment before being ready to make a comment, or I don't know, willfully lying to the American people about the condition of the President of the United States, which went on for 4 years in this country by all of your colleagues.
Totally wrong.
That
is totally wrong. That is totally wrong.
I hope you read all the books that are coming out. I hope you read all the books that are coming out.
Joe Biden, when asked about soldiers lost, was briefed and said it. And so you think Joe Biden had problems? At least he was able to do that. What's the excuse for Donald Trump if he's so capable?
I'm just saying.
I mean,
you guys
I don't
are
know if you're a judge.
That Trump is exhibiting some, I want to get more facts, and I'm going to be lectured by the people who lied to the American people about the condition of the president.
Oh my God.
No way.
No, but
not going to take.
Joe Biden was old. He absolutely should have stepped aside sooner. His age kept him from being an effective communicator. Don't get me wrong on any of that. To the extent that could have affected other things, though, is where the right was never vindicated on any of their claims, especially of him having like dementia or severe cognitive issues. He passed all his typical checkups year in and year out, including the neurological ones. He passed, in terms of legislation, 7 major pieces. That is 7 times what Trump passed his first time around. In his last months, he was negotiating hostage swaps, the largest hostage swap since the Cold War. Oh, and he never leaked sensitive battle plans along the way. The idea that he did all of this, but had dementia, the kind of dementia where he could read off a teleprompter, but, off a teleprompter is when it came. It's so hilariously stupid if you've ever met anyone that actually has dementia or severe cognitive issues. But even if, he still managed to not leak classified battle plans. So what is the excuse with the Trump team and administration who's supposed to show us what true merit is?
Scott, do you want government or do you want your lick back? Because even if all of that happened in the past, we're in the present now. So we need a president that is capable.
And so what? He said, I don't know. What did it hurt your life that he said, I don't know? One time?
Biden did it. Biden did it.
Sure,
Biden
I
did
can.
it. But you
Of
cannot
course I
write
can.
that for 4 years.
I absolutely can.
The country to move
I
forward.
100% can.
You cannot.
Biden wrote it for 4 years on Trump, and Obama wrote it for 8 years on George W. Bush. You're damn right. We were right.
It's just a little inconsistent to say it's wrong with one and the other. That's the point.
First off, literally, no, they didn't. Obama, 2008, ran on healthcare reform, ending the Iraq war, ending division in politics, and sure, economic recovery from the recession, because there was literally a recession. To the extent you want to say, well, that's running on Bush. No, but okay. Obama 2012 ran on Obamacare and the bin Laden successes, focusing largely on foreign policy and not raising taxes, but closing loopholes to bring this kind of economic stimulus back. Biden 2020 sure focused on Trump's mishandling of the pandemic because it was astronomically bad, but he ran on his own solutions like Build Back Better. He ran in 2024 on his like NATO successes and protecting democracy, which to the extent he talked about the economy, it was blaming it on COVID, where if anything, he should have made more points to try and tie it back to the effects of bad Trump policy because he ran on way too niche of things, and that caused the leftover effects under him and things that he could never really write off. But if Republicans think that they can get away with this, it's Biden's fault for the next 4 years. I say we let them because like they thought the same thing after 2016 and 2008. They thought the same thing. They thought the same thing after Big Bush's first term. I mean, it's literally the usual downfall of Republicans who are way too focused on the elites to be tapped into everyday Americans who just think after they win, well, that means we can never lose again.